JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 11th of October 2022. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a view of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our jfdbrokers.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. Now, jumping into the charts, guys, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. So yep, mission accomplished here. I've reached my target. I was talking about this upside support line. I said that before, that if we do drop below the 21-day EMA or below this 27,000 mark, then yes, we'll go lower and I'll aim for this upside line. Now at this point, I will say that I am gonna just observe this one, because looking at this, I mean, I think it's time now to get rid of this upside line, because now I think it's going to get violated. Maybe it'll go a little bit lower here. So I think a few adjustments have to be made here. So first of all, of course, I'll keep an eye on this downside line still. So then my upside scenario will come from around this 27,062 territory, the one that I talked about previously, or in general the 27,000 mark actually probably would be a little bit easier. And because at the same time, if you do push above that barrier, then yeah, we could go a little bit higher here above that 21-day EMA, and potentially coming back to that 100 and the 200-day EMAs. Now I'm going to mark the recent high here, the current highest point of October. That's near the 27,400 zone. That's going to be my next target if we do push above this 27,000 area. Now, as you can see, my arrow is drawn all the way here. This is my best scenario here, I would say. So if we do push back above this 27,000 territory, then yes, I'll aim a little bit higher, initially aiming for that 100 and the 200-day EMAs for the downside. Now, this is where I need to take a very cautious and careful approach. I would say if we do drop somewhere below this 26,222 territory right here, then yep, I will aim for this highlighted zone again. And I think that I need to widen it up a little bit. So I get it, it's not really, it's a very broad kind of view here. I mean, it's about like 250 point range area, but let's put it this way, let's go slowly. If we do fall below the 26,222 territory, then yes, I'll aim for this whole highlighted zone, initially aiming for the higher one, then the lower one, and so on and so on. So and the lower one, actually, I think the medium one here is around here, the 25,622. So long story short, that's the game plan. Look, I mean, at this point, I think I need to get rid of these as well, so I think I'm going to reuse them. But yeah, that's what I'm going to keep an eye on for now. If it continues to trade somewhere in here, I'm just observing this one, because what I don't want to see here is something like a triangle this time. I mean, this time I'm not really in favor of that. So yeah, I mean, let's wait and see, of course, but I'll give it like some room to maneuver here a little bit. Once it starts reaching one of my targets, then I'll do something about it. Shanghai Composite very quickly on that one. This one continues to slide. Everything's perfect, so mission accomplished here as well. I talked about this previously. I said that 3,048 level, that's what I'm keeping an eye on for the downside. If we break this, then I'll go towards that 2,957, which we managed to reach perfectly. So yeah, like I said, mission accomplished. Now, if you want to go further south, then of course you need to keep an eye on this hurdle now, this 2,957. If we drop and stay below it, then yeah, I'll go further south, but further south I will go only up until here, the lowest point of April of 2022, or in other words, the lowest point, the current lowest point of this year. Now, if we consider it from that, kind of we look at it from that perspective, then basically we can see that seems to be that Shanghai Composite is on track to maybe go and reach the current lowest point of this year, or maybe even actually it could. Maybe it could even, let's say, go even further south. So again, let's not over speculate on this. First, let's see what's going to happen here. And at the moment, I am still leaning towards the downside, but very carefully, because don't get me wrong, I am considering still maybe a bit of a rebound of some sort. Because look, today's trading session here ended up with this little kind of a doji, or more of a pin bar here. So yeah, maybe a bit of a reversal here could be possible. However, we have seen this playing out in the opposite direction. I mean, it could have been just like a continuation indicator, or like a pattern. But again, this is one of those moments where you sometimes don't know, and like you just rather stick to a breakout level in case, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. Yes, there is, like I said, there is a bit of hope here for the buyers that this could have made this pin bar, which could be seen as a little reversal signal here. But again, I would say if you're looking for some upside, then probably keep your eyes on today's high near the 2,986. You can of course also keep an eye on that psychological 3,000 mark, which if it's a little bit more acceptable for you. So that's kind of what's in terms of the upside. The ASX 200, the Australian index, and yeah, continues to slide. So continues to remain below this area, the 6,694 zone. I spoke about, and the 6,700 area, of course. So I spoke about that before. So yeah, if you're looking for some lower levels, then I would say as long as it stays below this area, below this highlighted zone here, yep, I'll go lower. And I said before, my next target is the 6,573 territory. That's what I'm aiming for now. So far, so good. Like I said, we did get a little retracement today. It got a hold up near that 21-day EMA, and there we go. We're seeing a nice decline again. Now, the German index, DAX, yeah, okay. So sorry, guys. Bear with me one moment. There we go. Disclaimer popped up. Well, it's not a bad thing. So, but anyway. So, guys, okay. Coming back to the German index. So here we have an index which, yeah, tried to recover somewhat yesterday. But it didn't really kind of work out well. I mean, the highlighted zone provided good resistance, but I said before that as long as we remain below it, then yes, I will go continuing aiming to the downside. Now at the moment, let's be careful, let's be cautious, and I would say, and trying to have a look at what's happening with the cash index right now. Just bear with me one moment, because at the moment I'm leaning towards the downside. Look, that's pretty straightforward. In terms of little correction higher, yes, we could have that, but for that I would prefer to maybe see a push somewhere above this area, this highlighted zone, because at the same time we might see a push above the 21-day EMA, and if we clear that, then I'll go a little bit higher. I'll go towards these slightly higher levels. That's pretty straightforward on this one. I mean, some of you might see this as something of a maybe a possible like bullish flag here or something like that. Maybe this candle here, yesterday's candle, could be a nice little hammer here, which could be seen as a reversal signal. That's all possible. I'm not excluding that. I'm just saying that certain confirmation breaks are needed for me. So, and for me, for the upside, I need to see a push above this 12,439 level, somewhere approximately around here. But Probably, I would say it's not really as of much as a level, but more of the 21-day EMA. And I get it. We did get some pushes here through this area here, as you can see. So we traveled higher above it. We even closed above that 21-day EMA, but then instead, actually, we reversed back down. That's fine. This happens. This is part of the game, guys. That's why you always have to have your, stop loss in place. Now, if we do see another attempt, let's say, to go higher here, and we break the 21-day EMA, then yes, I'll get a little bit more excited, because this time we'll have ourselves a nice higher low forming. So, this way you can actually justify now, if let's say if we do push again above the 21-day EMA, then yes, this could help out. This could play out nicely for for the bulls here, and we could see maybe higher levels being met. Nasdaq 100. So we drifted below. So first of all, I mean, the target has been reached. This 10,967. I talked about this, and yeah, we have managed to reach that, and we managed to break that as well. So what's next? Basically, at the moment, the cash index is sitting at around 10,870 zone. So basically, yeah, we're still below this hurdle, below that 10,867. As if we continue to trade below it, I'll go further south, guys. I mean, at the moment, I'm just continuing to keep an eye on this falling channel. My next target will be the lower side of that channel. So let's say if it's today, if we do that today, let me just do this very quickly. So if it's today, then we most likely could be somewhere around here. That's 10,000. Okay, let's round it up to 600. Plus minus here and there, but roughly 10,600. So that could be your next target if we continue to trade. Let me just correct it. Yeah, there we go. If we continue to trade below that 10,967 territory. Dow Jones Industrial Average. So yesterday, the Dow was the least performing. Sorry, not the least performing. The best one from the worst. Let's call it this way. The best one from the worst. So the Dow only lost around 0.32%, whereas Nasdaq lost at least 1%. Excuse me. The S&P lost around 0.75. So yeah, Dow was kind of pretty much the better one here. But still it declined. Still it dropped. So a loss is still a loss. So. However, again, we're the same story as with the other indices. I mean, I'm going to keep an eye on this. So far, this idea, what I've talked about previously, continues to work out. I said that if we continue to trade below that 29,653, then I'll continue aiming lower. Yep, we are aiming lower. These levels that I have here, they're quite important here, and they're from the past. So basically, my next target here will be this 28,495 territory. That is, of course, if we clear some of these levels. But hey, I think that it needs to get rid of this level here. This is no longer valid. I think it's more, it's better to mark this one. So the current low, well, not the current, sorry, the lowest point of September. So that could be our next target initially, but then we could aim for that 28,495 level, which is the high of the 5th of November of 2020, guys. Because from here you can see that we gapped up and we traveled higher, so this is quite an important level to watch here. But like I said, all that downside scenario only if we remain below that 29,653 territory. DXY, the dollar index. So yeah, continues to push higher. To be honest, not much I'm not going to talk here too much, because we remain above the 112.56 territory right here. And if we remain above it, then yes, I'll continue aiming higher. My next target will be this 114.78 level right here. So pretty much straightforward. That's the highest point of September. So let's see if we can reach that again. Gold, looking at gold, beautiful decline, beautiful correction to the downside. Yesterday I talked about this. I said that, look, if we remain below that 21-day EMA and we drop below this 1689 zone, then yes, we will go lower. So my next target was the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci, which we managed to reach. We managed to even drop below it, and we've reached, actually we declined already the 61.8. We did the 61.8 retracement. So yeah, I would say great. I think that now we can be looking at something, maybe a little correction back to the upside or something like that. So let me remove the Fibonacci. It's just going to be in the way a little bit here. So I will get rid of this line, no longer needed, and I'm going to keep an eye on these at the moment. So long story short, now this is where I think that I am a little bit unsure, I would say, because look, on one hand, we had a nice retracement. We did the 61.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, so great. Now maybe we could see a bit of a retracement. That would be also interesting to see if that's going to happen. Maybe not today. Maybe today. Maybe it could end in this scenario. Maybe it will be just somewhere flat like this, like forming something of a doji. Because look, I mean, the previous days were quite big, and now maybe we could see this day just being like something flat like that. So if you like to trade gold, then maybe it wouldn't be the most exciting day today. So keep that in mind. But let's say going into tomorrow, we could see a bit of a move, maybe back to the upside. But this is where the point is. This is where I'm trying to say, and what I'm trying to say here is that, look, if it depends on how this is going to play out today, of course. I'm just assuming here. I mean, I'm just trying to make some sort of analogy to the past trading, as we always do with technical analysis. We're just trying to, find some analogies from the past. But let's say if it stalls somewhere like this, maybe, yeah, if it forms this doji, it keeps forming this doji for the rest of the day today, then yeah, maybe we could see a little retracement of some sort. But if it continues to trade below the 21-day EMA, then another decline here could be possible. Or if we do start dropping below this 1660 territory straight away, now that's where it could become an interesting one here for more sellers. We could go further south. Now, WTI oil. So, okay, so we've corrected back down. We've corrected, then we retraced to 23.6. Beautiful. I talked about this yesterday, and yeah, there we go. We retraced to 23.6. Great. Now what? Now what? Well, I would say keep an eye on yesterday's high. That's going to be my kind of cue for the upside. But of course, as I mentioned before, that look, I'm keeping an eye on that 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci. I want to see if it's going to provide good support or not. If it does, then yep, I'm considering this move back to the upside. If it doesn't, if we start falling below that 23.6, which is roughly around that 90.17 level, the high of the 14th of September. If we, I think that's even the highest point of September, isn't it? Yes, that's correct. That's the highest point of September. So we could be getting a nice little hold up around there. Now, if we do get a nice drop below this, then yeah, I'll aim for this short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 28th of September here. Now, Ethereum, jumping into a few crypto, well, not a few, but just one crypto here. And to be honest, I mean, Ethereum and the rest of the gang, like Bitcoin, Litecoin, all of them are a little bit on the boring side compared to Ripple. Ripple is enjoying the moment. I mean, but at the moment, let's say here we're talking about Ethereum. So yeah, I mean, at the moment you can see that we are kind of consolidating here, kind of ranging, something like that. But what's important here is that the 21-day EMA is doing a nice job here. And let me just capture this arrow, honestly. There we go. So the 21-day EMA is doing a nice job in providing good resistance. So basically, there is still hope for the bears that, more declines could come in, but as I said before, I would prefer to wait for a drop below this 12-19 zone right here, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. That's the lowest point of September. And as we drop below it, would confirm a forthcoming lower low. Now jumping into actually with the upside, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. I think with the upside we would need to see a nice good push above the 21-day EMA, and then we could go a little bit higher. Now ADJPY. So, AUD JPY, beautiful decline. I mean, I talked about this, and look, I mean, I talked about a move towards this 90.52 territory right here. But we managed to reach the highlighted area first. I mean, that was my other target, because here we have the 200-day EMA as well. So I would say, you know, that's a good result. I'm still kind of keeping an eye on this hurdle, this 90.52, but given that we already had a nice decline, and I think that I need to adjust a few things here. First of all, I need to adjust this downside line. I think it needs to be this way now drawn, because yeah, although it's a tentative one, I do understand that, but I think that it's this way would be a little bit better. Now the question here is, what will happen with this whole area right here, this 200-day EMA, and this hurdle here, this 91.42. So if we do get like a nice little rebound from here, great. This is the scenario then I'm considering. If we don't get that clear rebound and we start dropping below the 200-day EMA straight away, then, well, that's what, like I said, my next target is the 90.52, but only up until here, because if we do drop again straight away below the 200-day EMA, like I said, I will only aim for here, because at that point we will already have quite a decent decline here. So meaning that, you know, maybe a little retracement, a rebound could happen from around here instead of here. But again, we're watching this for now. AUD USD, so continues to slide. Good result here. My next target was the 0.6254. I talked about this. Look, this level here was the is the low of the that was the low of the 21st of April of 2020, yep. So we're getting a nice little hold up here, but as I said to you yesterday, I am kind of considering this whole area as potential support zone. So not only this level, but also this. But don't get surprised, for example, if we do get like a bit of a drop and somewhere, I mean, we find like a hold up somewhere in between these two levels, because in general, this is what I'm looking at here is the whole kind of area, support area. So we might see the pair kind of, you know, bouncing around here in between the two levels as well. So you know, at the moment we're just getting a nice beautiful hold up near the upper side of this area, support area. But yeah, can we get a nice rebound from here? Well, let's wait and see. At the moment, I am still leaning a little bit more towards the downside. For the upside, I need to see a push back somewhere above this 0.6390, or maybe even I could start looking at 0.6363 zone already, but then I would have to have a very tight stop loss. USD Gbpchf, so yeah, beautiful push. So there we go. We broke the triangle pattern, and we have now broken the 0.9966 level. So that's good. For the bulls, of course, if you're a seller, then yeah, you're not probably enjoying this very much. But looking at this picture right now, I would say if we continue to rally here, and if we break the downside, we already broke the downside line. It was the downside line. What I said before, that if we do that, then I'll go higher. I'll aim for the 0.9966. If that gets cleared, this can open up the door towards that psychological 1 level again, or maybe a little bit higher, the 1.005 level. So let's keep that in mind. Or another way, if you want it a little bit easier, then it's basically the highest point of June and the highest point of May. These are going to be my next targets. USD CAD. So USD CAD, also beautiful move, and there we go. Mission accomplished on this one. Look, I mean, yesterday I talked about this. I said that, look, if we push and we stay above this 1.3695 territory right here, I will go higher. My next target will be this 1.3833 level. Boom. We managed to reach that. Great. Now what next? What's next? Now at this point, I'm going to take a pause, because as I said before, I want to see how this is going to play out. Because if this is going to get a hold up here, this is going to struggle to go further north, then maybe we could see a bit of a decline. Maybe we could see, you know, a range forming here. So let me just put this on the chart, so maybe we could see something like this forming. So yeah, it could be quite interesting, as I would say. And if we start falling back below this hurdle, below this 1.3696, which I talked about and looked at as a barrier, resistance barrier for the upside here. Now it could take the role of support, and we could go maybe back down towards that 1.3605 or even the 21-day EMA, and then we would take it from there. Now Gbpchf. So guys, yeah, Gbpchf. We're still holding. And I talked about this previously. I said that look, if we drop below that 1.10 territory, then yes, I'll go lower. So far, this is holding nicely, and it seems that maybe, just maybe, this strategy could work out. However, because due to the fact that we're so close to this 1.10 territory, I am just, approaching this very carefully. If I'm gonna watch this carefully, and if you're looking for, let's say, maybe some confirmation for the upside, maybe what you can do here is keep an eye on something like that. The 1.1190. If we clear it, then yeah, maybe we could go back to the upside. So keep that in mind, guys. Or if you're a little bit on the risky side, then keep your eyes on yesterday's high. If we once again push through it, then yes, we'll go to the upside, but I will have a very, very tight stop loss in that case. GBP NZD. So this one's quite interesting as well, and as I mentioned before, I'm looking at this highlighted zone. It acted as a fantastic area of support, but I would prefer still to wait for that push above this 2.0055 level in order to go higher. So, because on a nice good break above that level, this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could start aiming for this little area right there. There we go, near the 2.0535 level. So yeah, that could be our next target, and if we do get a nice push above this 2.0055 territory, then yes, I will go further north. Now then, in terms of the downside, I need to see a drop below this highlighted zone right here, below this 1.9635 maybe level right here somewhere, and then yeah, it could go further south. EURUSD, very quickly on that one, also quite interesting. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but basically previously when I looked at it, and as you can see by my arrow which is shifted here, basically what I said before, that if we push through this barrier, my next target is the 200-day EMA. I would say mission accomplished here, because look, even though we didn't really exactly hit the level, I always say to you guys, it's never the exact level, it's always kind of, the area near that level. So it's just in the orienteer for you, so it's like at the moment, like I said, yeah, I'm still going to aim for that, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to aim for that 200-day EMA, especially right now, given that we had rebounded from that 21-day and the 100-day EMAs. But if you're a little bit on the careful side right here, I would say what you can do here, because if you, let's say, don't like this scenario right now, and you're still thinking that, hey, maybe this could have been like just like a false rebound or whatever you want to call it. There's no such thing, of course, but but still. So you can keep an eye on this downside line, which if it gets broken, then yes, I will go higher. I will go towards that 200-day EMA, and then maybe even higher than that. So we'll go slowly on that. But if it holds, if this downside line holds, then we could get ourselves a nice little descending triangle pattern, which according to all the TA rules tends to break to the downside. So either way, it doesn't matter which pattern it will be. Still, if you're looking for some lower levels, I would say I would like to see a drop below this 1.3324 territory right here. At the same time, we would drop below all of the EMAs here, and then we could go lower. EURUSD. So beautiful move to the upside. Yep, so far I would say so good. We're sitting above the 1.54 territory, so that's great for the bulls. So in a way, everything is looking quite positive here. So yeah, I'm going to continue targeting the upside. Now my next target here, and this is where I have to mark this very quickly. My next target is somewhere around here, not the arrow where I have drawn this, but right here. So the 1.5562, and if we get a nice hold up here, maybe a bit of a retracement could be possible, but like I said, initially I am aiming for this area as long as we stay above the 1.54 zone. If we start falling back below it, I'll aim for a correction to the downside. And finally, EURUSD. So yeah, it continues to drift lower. So far, so good. If you have watched my videos previously, then you'll know that, as what I said before, that if we fall back below this territory and the 0.9864, I'm going to aim lower. My next target will be the 0.9733. We managed to reach that. And then if we clear this hurdle, then my next target is the 0.96 territory. Not exactly the level, but the territory. So it's kind of, you know, plus minus 10 pips here and there, so keep that in mind. Let's see how that's going to play out here, but again, at the moment I'm very careful. As long as it stays below the 0.9733, I'll go lower. If it pushes back up, I'll go back to the upside here, so keep that in mind. Especially if it climbs back above the 21-day EMA, I'll start aiming for the upside again. So guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your views, your likes, your comments, guys, everything. I really appreciate your time. So thank you very much for joining in. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always in my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. So thank you very much, and bye-bye.